You may be here because you want to be healthier, and healthier looks different for everybody. For some people, it is wanting to manage weight. For others, it is wanting to build strength. And for somebody else, it might be just wanting to have more energy so that you can keep up with your kids on the weekends, play soccer, and not have to stop to catch your breath. There are a lot of tools that are available to help us be healthier and better versions of ourselves. And one of these tools is meal prepping. My name is Taku. I'm a physician. I've had the pleasure of helping people be healthier versions of themselves for several years now. And a few months ago, I realized that I was not living my healthiest and best life. And the thinking and planning on how to be healthier was actually giving me an excuse to not make the change. So I started making small actions. And what I'm doing on this channel is I want to share the things that I'm learning, leveraging my experience as a physician, my ability to understand research, and my desire to have a healthier, happier version of the world. So your primary problem is that you're overwhelmed, you're stressed, and at the end of the day, after a really long day, we often don't have enough energy to go and prepare the meal that we know will be most helpful for us. Imagine you come home at the end of your day, and instead of slaving over the stove, you open your fridge, and there it is, ready for you. A delicious, healthy meal that's going to help you stay on track with your goals. The problem with meal prepping, in the way that a lot of us understand it, is that we tend to be very rigid in what we consider to be meal prepping. So instead of sharing some stepwise structured approach, I just want to share some approaches that have been working for our family. About 4 years ago, we decided to be more healthful, and we really took meal prepping. And what we did was we would make time Sunday afternoon. We would batch cook multiple meals. We had several plastic containers that we would portion out the foods so that when you went into the fridge, you would just pull out a meal, warm it up, and it's ready to eat. We did this for a while, but unfortunately, the reasons why we started meal prepping, i.e. lack of time and stress, were also the reasons that we weren't able to continue meal prepping. We got busy. And unfortunately, the barrier to do the work, setting aside time that Sunday afternoon, became harder to do. And the motivation that we had to sustain that habit was outweighed by the challenge of actually doing it. We also got bored with the meals. After a while, we noticed that several meals were going uneaten because when you open the fridge, you could only eat this same meal only so many times. A few months ago, I realized that I really needed to increase my protein intake. And I wanted to do this because I wanted to increase strength and I wanted to increase satiety. If you've ever tried to increase your protein, you'll realize that it takes a lot of planning. And if you don't plan and prepare multiple different options, it gets boring, especially if you commit to eating the same kind of protein. So what did we decide to do? And what are the things that we're doing now that I feel like have been very helpful and are different from when we tried meal prepping 4 years ago? Instead of focusing on creating portioned out meals that were easy to grab on the run, we decided instead to focus on protein. I say this now as if we pre-planned it and were super intentional about it, but I'm looking retrospectively and realizing, hey, we're doing this and this is working. So we try to pick a couple protein choices, and that could vary based on what your taste preferences, what your dietary habits are. And when you prepare any one of these protein choices, try to prepare in bulk. So prepare for what you plan to eat for the meal you're preparing, but also prepare lots of extra. The other thing that has been super helpful is when you go to prepare meals or when you go to prepare these protein options, try to make 2 protein options at the same time. Things that I've found to be easy because I'm not a masterful cook are if I'm preparing something on the stove, let's say I'm sauteing something or I'm cooking something, having something else that is boiling or something that is baking at the same time that maybe I'm not using for this meal, but maximizes my time in the kitchen maximizes the dirty dishes that I've created, and decreases the amount of work duplication that I do, have found that to be very helpful. Boiling eggs, for example, is an easy one, or broiled or grilled chicken, or whatever other protein choice that you find to be easy to do while making something else is an easy approach to maximize your time so that, again, you target the real problem, which is lack of time and excess amount of stress. The difference that I've found with how we're preparing meals and how we're choosing healthier options is that when compared to when we did it 4 years ago, I felt like there was a lot of structure in how meal prepping was supposed to be done. So we're very rigid and very structured in how we did it, which I think was great for the time that it worked. But unfortunately, it wasn't very sustainable as the kids' schedules got busier, as work got busier, and all the other demands that are up on us as professionals and parents and everything else that, requires your attention. The more sustainable a habit is, the more likely you are to see long-term results from it. I think that looking at meal prepping this way addresses the primary reason why a lot of us struggle with health. Again, it helps us manage our time and it helps deal with stress. We just have a hard time doing it. And hopefully this makes it easier to make that healthier choice by minimizing the barrier to making those healthful choices, right? It's not that we don't know it's good to eat healthy. We don't know that it's good to eat clean. As you strive to get healthier, I want to challenge you in the next week to try some of these techniques that we've found to be useful. Let me know what things you find to be helpful. What recipes seem to be easy to combine with other things, and share in the comments so that I can grow from this and other people that are watching this can learn from your experience. I hope you can find something useful in this that will help you be a better version of yourself.